The Great Brinks Robbery, the crime of the century. It was a bitterly cold evening on January 17, 1950, in Boston's North End. The streets were quiet, but inside the sturdy, brick-clad Brinks building, the night shift was going about its routine. 7 employees guarded millions of dollars in cash, checks, and securities, the lifeblood of the city's commerce. Unbeknownst to them, a meticulously planned heist was about to unfold, a robbery that would shake the nation and become known as the largest, most audacious theft in American history. Chapter 1: The Lives Behind the Masks. Joseph "Specs" O'Keefe. Born in 1912 in a rough Boston neighborhood, Joseph was the son of Irish immigrants. His nickname came from the thick glasses he wore, which contrasted sharply with his tough demeanor. A natural strategist, Specs had been involved in petty theft and bootlegging from his teenage years. By the 1940s, he had built a reputation for being smart and cautious, a leader, not just a thug. He ran with a tight crew who trusted his judgment implicitly. Adrian "Wheels" Pino. Pino was known for his calm under pressure. Before the Brinks job, he was involved in truck hijackings and loan sharking. His experience with vehicles and logistics made him the perfect person to handle the escape plan. Vincent "The Frog" Costa. A former Navyman, Costa was loyal and meticulous. He was the lookout, always alert, always watching. His nickname came from his low croaking voice and squat build. Stanley Gusciora. A locksmith by trade, Gusciora was critical in the plan for his ability to duplicate keys and manipulate locks. His skill set gave the gang a huge advantage. The beginning, seeds of a master plan. The story begins 3 years earlier, in 1947, when a group of criminals hatched an idea to break into the Brinks building and make off with its contents. Originally, the plan was a quiet burglary, something sneaky and under the radar. But as months passed, the robbers learned that Brinks had moved to a new, heavily fortified location, complete with burglar alarms they couldn't bypass. The gang observed the guards' patterns relentlessly. They realized the vault would be open for a short window after 7 p.m., and fewer guards were present. They devised a plan to hit exactly during this vulnerable time. Over several months, they slowly removed every lock from the building, careful to replace each one without arousing suspicion, and had keys made to fit them. They stole 2 vehicles in preparation, a large truck to haul the loot and a car to block any pursuit. One man, Vincent Costa, was assigned the lookout role. From a nearby rooftop, he would signal the all clear with a flashlight when he saw the vault door open. The night of the robbery. At precisely 7:10 p.m. on January 17, 1950, 7 men approached the Brinks building. They wore chauffeur caps pulled low, pea coats to hide their clothing, and rubber Halloween masks to conceal their faces. Each was armed with a .38 caliber revolver. Joseph "Specs" O'Keefe, a gang member who would later become infamous for his role in the robbery and its aftermath, led the group inside. They tied up the 5 employees working in the vault area swiftly and silently, securing them with rope and tape. Inside the vault, the men worked quickly and methodically. For 20 minutes, they filled large canvas bags with cash, checks, money orders, and securities. But the robbery was not perfect. The gang left behind nearly $1 million in silver and coins. They simply weren't prepared to carry such heavy loot. By 7:37 p.m., one of the employees had freed himself and raised the alarm. A crime scene with few clues. The city's police commissioner immediately ordered all precincts and detectives to mobilize. 13 suspects were detained in the hours after the robbery, including 2 former Brinks employees, but the trail soon ran cold. Brinks Incorporated put up a $100,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those involved, and the insurance company added a bonus of 5% of any recovered cash. J. Edgar Hoover, director of the FBI, took personal control of the investigation, signaling the gravity of the crime. But despite the heavy manhunt, the only physical evidence left behind was a single cap and the tape and rope used to bind employees. Most of the stolen cash was in denominations too small to track by serial number. The stolen truck, their getaway vehicle, was later found cut into pieces near O'Keefe's home, destroying potential evidence. Arrests and infighting. The gang's members soon began to crumble under pressure. Not from the law at first, but from inside their own ranks. In June 1950, O'Keefe and Stanley Gusciora were arrested in Pennsylvania for an unrelated burglary. Both were sentenced to prison terms. While behind bars, O'Keefe demanded money from fellow gang members to fight his conviction, sparking tensions. Back in Boston, Vincent Costa kept watch and signaled the start of the robbery from his rooftop perch. But O'Keefe later kidnapped Costa to demand his share of the loot as ransom. This desperate move backfired spectacularly. Anthony Pino, believed by some to be the gang's leader, attempted to have O'Keefe killed. After a couple of failed attempts, Pino hired notorious underworld hitman Elmer "Trigger" Burke. Burke traveled to Boston and shot O'Keefe in a chilling ambush, leaving him gravely wounded but alive. The breakthrough, a confession. While recovering in the hospital, O'Keefe faced a choice: stay silent and risk spending the rest of his life in prison, or talk. On January 6, 1956, almost 6 years after the robbery and just days before the statute of limitations would expire, O'Keefe decided to cooperate with the FBI. Within days, arrests were made. Baker, Costa, Geegan, Maffei, McGinnis, and Pino were taken into custody on January 12. Faherty and Richardson were apprehended in May. With O'Keefe's testimony and cooperation, prosecutors finally had the evidence to bring the gang to trial. The trial and aftermath. The trial began on August 6, 1956. 8 of the gang members were convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. O'Keefe received a lighter sentence, 4 years, after pleading guilty and cooperating with the prosecution. He was released in 1960. The rest were paroled by 1971, except Joseph McGinnis, who died in prison in 1966. Of the $2.7 million stolen, less than $60,000 was ever recovered. The robbery was labeled the crime of the century, capturing public fascination for years to come. O'Keefe later co-wrote The Men Who Robbed Brinks, giving the public a rare glimpse into the inside story of the audacious heist. The Great Brinks robbery remains a classic tale of criminal audacity, meticulous planning, betrayal, and eventual justice, a true American crime story that stands the test of time. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the Great Brinks robbery, a true crime classic. If you enjoyed it, like and subscribe for more stories like this. Next up, we'll cover a shocking modern-day heist that still has authorities puzzled. Don't miss it, hit the bell to stay notified. Stay safe and see you next time.